2 in the books. Welcome back to the Kenny C Show. I am Kenny C. I'm asking you to hit the subscribe button right now. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan in general, you will love this channel. I am consistent with the content, especially the YouTube shorts, so be sure to go check those out. Hit that subscribe button because football will be talked about on this channel for the entirety of the season. Week 2, this episode will be about the Week 2 what went wrong. I'm going to pick a few games from the Week 2 slate and talk about kind of what went wrong for either side. You may pick one team over the other to focus on, but we're going to get into it. We're going to chop it up, and I encourage everybody to hit the comment section. Comment your thoughts as you go along watching this video. Give me your thoughts on the Week 2 slate. Your team, tell me how you think they are performing thus far. But Week 2, we had a few good games in this one. Thursday night, we'll start off with the Packers win over the Washington Commanders at Lambeau Field. The Packers looking good, 27-18 W. The scoreboard tells a different story from how the actual game played out because the Packers defense, they are the real deal, folks. Jeff Hafley gets the blessing of Micah Parsons, who changes the whole dynamic of this defense and of this team in general. But Hafley is loving it, using Micah off the edge, using Micah as a tried and true linebacker. This guy really belongs on Nat Geographic. Like a lion hunting a gazelle. He's just getting in there and causing problems. And that's exactly what he did on Thursday night. But I'm not going to go too in-depth on the Packers side of things, other than pointing out that the defense caused havoc for Jayden Daniels. What went wrong for Washington? Well, a few things went wrong. I don't think they established the run game nearly enough in the early going. I mean, Krosky Merritt, who they call Bill, Jacoby Krosky Merritt, he didn't tote the rock until the second quarter. Why are we running the ball up the gut with Austin Eckler, who's supposed to be sort of your third down back, your receiving threat? He's getting up there in age. You got to lean on Bill, who you traded Brian Robinson away because clearly you covet Bill. You look at him very highly. They didn't use him nearly enough. By the game's end, and again, this is a credit as well to the Packers defense and what this run defense, largely the run defense has been the problem for the Packers for the better part of the last decade. Thus far through 2 games, they look elite. They limited this Commanders rushing attack to 51 total yards on the ground, 17 apiece dispersed amongst Jayden rushing, Eckler, and Krosky Merritt. They did not lean on the run game nearly enough. The fact that your rush attack has 51 total yards, Kingsbury's got to dial it up better than that. Because I also thought that they could have incorporated Deebo Samuel into the game much more, have a couple end-around plays, get him rushing out of the backfield. I know he's up there, he's not old, but he's getting older and he's had injury history, so I get it, but you got to incorporate him into the game plan much more than you have been. McLaurin shut down in this game. I thought the Packers secondary, it's a testament. Keyshawn Nixon was outstanding in this one. Nate Hobbs was great. The Packers secondary did their job. Evan Williams and McKinney were flying around the field. Edger and Cooper led the team in tackles with 7. So the Packers defense was flying around. Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, Colby Wooden, they were clogging up the middle, really doing a great job against the run, but the Commanders did not establish the run nearly enough and should have done so early and often lean on the rushing attack to take some pressure off of Jayden, because there was a lot of shotgun for Jayden and just kind of looking around, surveying the field, not seeing anything, making a bad read, just nobody really getting open. And Jayden Daniels had nowhere to go with the football. He was largely bottled up. So I think that that's where things went wrong for the Commanders. I think Cliff Kingsbury needs to do a better job game planning and play calling and incorporating better play calling for Jayden Daniels. Tucker Kraft, this was the Kraft game for the Pack. 6 receptions, 124 yards and a touchdown. I think if I wanted to point to what went wrong for the Packers despite the win, kind of stalling out in the second half and letting the Commanders back into the game. Now, they did a good job of responding when Washington scored, but you can't stall out like that. You got to have all gas, no brakes, foot on that gas pedal the whole way through. Moving on, though, let's get into, I'm toting the Brett Favre throwback right now. New York Jets white away jersey. Love this jersey. let's get into the New York Jets. Absolute dumpster fire of a Sunday. If you're a Jets fan and what you watched, I want you guys to weigh in. First of all, Packers and Commanders fans, weigh in on it. Jets fans, what the hell was that on Sunday? I mean, I don't know what's going on with the defense and the offense, because the defense was like a leaky sieve in terms of that rush defense. But the Jets get throttled by the Bills 30-10 on Sunday. And what went wrong in this one? Everything for the Jets. From the get-go, undisciplined play. On the Bills' first drive, you had them at a 3rd and 19. In your own red zone, 3rd and 19, you could have held them to 3 points. What happens? Michael Clemens takes an unnecessary roughness penalty going up into Allen's face. You know they're going to call that, especially with Josh Allen. He's one of the golden boys of the NFL. They are going to call that all day. You didn't have to do that. It would have been 3 points, would have swung the game better. Instead, they get a fresh set of downs. James Cook gets the touchdown. 7 punts for the Jets in this game. The offense was nothing but a stalled out car. One of those beat up, like 06 Tauruses, and it's just like, we can't get anything going. We need to call AAA because this car's not moving. Justin Fields, I don't know what the hell happened to him in this game. Maybe we're seeing some true colors from Fields with the inaccuracy downfield, but 3 for 11. 3 for 11 with 27 yards, 1.1 quarterback rating, and a fumble, a costly fumble at that by Justin Fields. Just a terrible performance by him. And James Cook, the rush defense, the Jets' rush defense was horrific in this game. Missed tackling, and you allow Justin Cook 21 carries, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That right there costed you the game. You let him do whatever the hell he wanted. So this Jets team needs to come out stronger in week 3 against the Buccaneers. That's not going to be an easy task, because we saw what Baker just did on Monday night against the Texans. Driving down the field, winning football games, they look electric. So this Jets defense needs to tighten up. Michael Carter, you need to tighten up. I thought Sauce, like week 1, was pretty solid, but collectively, this defense has to do its job, plain and simple. And I know Aaron Glenn's not going to stand for it. So let's hope, Jet fans, going into week 3, that the Jets just have a bounce back, because if this is foreshadowing for how the season's going to go, it ain't looking good. And I'm planning on going October 5th to Jets Cowboys. Planning on being there. Hopefully the Jets can pick things up in week 3. But we'll move along to the other New York team, who was a lot more productive offensively. Defensively, you gotta right the ship there, because the Cowboys put up a 40-piece nugget on your head. The New York Giants fall to the Cowboys in overtime, 40-37. Dak Prescott, you just can't beat him, Big Blue. You can't beat him. 14 straight wins over the New York Giants. Dak Prescott has been the kryptonite for this New York Giants team. But what went wrong in this one? You could point to a few things, but what it really comes down to and what went wrong, Russell Wilson, you had a great game, 351 passing yards. You had, 3 touchdowns. Why'd you throw the game away on 2nd and 14? You still had another down to play with. Live to fight another down. Instead, he heaves the ball deep to Malik Neighbors when he doesn't have to do that, and Donovan Wilson picks him off. Dak Prescott with 2 minutes to work with in overtime. Defense just folded. They did nothing to make a stop. You allowed Dak Prescott to do whatever the hell he wanted, and they go down the field. I think it was, just a clinic, and Brandon Aubrey, 64-yarder. The guy is the new Legatron. He's outstanding, best kicker in the league. The Giants folded defensively and let them get within, granted, a 64-yarder is crazy. But, that was to tie the game. And then you let them get into field goal range, what was it, a 45-yarder? Something to that effect? That's just like, The Giants have some problems, and what went wrong was Russell Wilson trying to play hero ball when he didn't have to play hero ball. Also, left tackle James Hudson. I mean, what the hell are we doing, man? You had 4 penalties on one drive to start the game off. The head slap like he's Deacon Jones. I mean, what are we doing, man? And then you want to get in the face of Brian Daboll because he wants to bench you? Dude, tighten up. Play more discipline. If you want a starting job on an offensive line in the NFL, you can't be taking stupid penalties like that. So Big Blue has got to tighten things up. But that's a bad loss to Dallas. And hopefully you turn things around heading into week 3. And we'll wrap this thing up with the Cincinnati Bengals game. 31-27 win over Jacksonville. And you're thinking, Kenny C, why are you saying what went wrong with Cincinnati? Because they won the game. Didn't look pretty, but they won the game. And what went wrong? You just lost your franchise quarterback for the next 3 months to a grade 3 turf toe, second sack of the game, on a sack. The offensive line went wrong. They went wrong in protecting their quarterback. Because now Joe Burrow, this is yet another season. In his 6 seasons, this guy has been hurt in almost all of them. I mean, you go down the laundry list with Joe Burrow, these injuries, and what went wrong is protect your damn quarterback. Joe Burrow is now, he might not come back for the season, but at the very minimum, it's going to be 3 months. We're not going to see this guy till possibly November. Now, the Bengals are looking around at backup quarterbacks, maybe Jameis Winston. They were shopping Malik Willis from the Packers. Where do you turn if you're Cincinnati? Because let's face it, for Zach Taylor, you got to find a quarterback to try to make this season competitive, because how long is your leash until Duke, the GM, and ownership goes, we got to move on? Some Bengals fans have been calling for Taylor's head for a while now. I want to know your thoughts, Bengals fans, because the fact of the matter is, Cincinnati went out in the offseason and did what they needed to do. They brought in the draft, Dylan Fairchild, who's a left guard out of Georgia. They got him in the 3rd round. Last year, they spent the 1st round premium pick, 24th overall, on Amarius Mims out of Georgia. Now, Amarius Mims, this season, has a PFF grade through these 2 weeks of 60.3. Dalton Reisner, the right guard, has a PFF grade of 45.3. Ted Karras, the center, who's normally very good, has a 66 PFF grade. And if you go down the list, this has been a systemic problem since the Cincinnati Bengals spent the 1st round pick on Joe Burrow, the future of their franchise, the guy. This has been a problem. They have not been able to rectify the offensive line woes, and it shows since 2020. I'll give you the stats right here. Their pass blocking win rate since 2020, the year 2020, Burrow gets hurt, ACL, 29th in the league. 2021, 30th. 2022, 30th. 2023, 27th. Last year, dead last, 32nd in the NFL in pass block win rate. Now this year, they are currently 28th, and they just again lost their franchise quarterback to a big injury. It's a problem. They need to clean that up, because Chase Browning, I think he has a 4-3 record as a starter for Cincy. Is he going to be the guy that's going to get you to the playoffs? Probably not. He had 3 interceptions in this game alone against Jacksonville. That's not going to win football games against teams that are, above 500 level. So they have a problem here. Now, Browning did lead the 92-yard game-winning drive, but he didn't look particularly good in relief. They got the win, and they're 1-1 on the year. But moving forward, for fantasy football owners of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown, this is not looking good. I'm an owner of Chase Brown in my fantasy football, one of my fantasy football leagues, I think 2 actually. I don't like it. I have T. Higgins in another one. Jamar Chase, he still did his thing, 165 yards on 14 receptions and a touchdown, but we'll see the fantasy impact severely come into play with Chase Browning or whoever Cincinnati goes out and gets. I think they have Brett Ripien, if I'm not mistaken, former Packer. for a glimpse of time. I think they just brought him onto the 53-man roster. Maybe they try to go out and get somebody better, but since he's got a problem right now, and what went wrong in this game was the offensive line just not doing their job like they have been consistently, just failing to provide protection for Joe Burrow. I want to know from you guys, Cincinnati Bengals fans, I want to know your thoughts. Jaguars fans, I want to know your thoughts on this loss. And any of the games that I talked about, any of the games from the Week 2 slate, give me your thoughts, give me your comments, and hit that subscribe button because it helps more than you know to help grow this channel. I put in the work week in and week out to provide some entertainment and some quality football talk for you guys. Hopefully you liked it. Hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for Week 3 because we got a loaded slate coming up.